And you'll be answering Uni's 2AC. There we go.
All right. As Alex stated earlier, eminent domain benefits communities significantly, such as the Minute Maid Park that Alice discussed earlier. Yes, programs like these have their flaws, as Uni pointed out in her first argument against Alex. But eminent domain has made deteriorating neighborhoods like downtown Houston into local hangouts as well as tourist spots to see. My first argument supports Alex, and that eminent domain makes cities a greater place. According to David M. Lewis, a certified appraiser and a member of Houston's Planning Commission, September 5, 2006. However, in most cases, eminent domain is used sensibly, and we must not forget it. We should not be too hasty to give eminent domain a bad label. With proper planning and wise judgment, eminent domain can be used to make our cities into greater places. This may not be significant, such as a road or a building. However, it does increase the quality of life for those citizens in these areas. Uni argues that Trump stomped in and wanted to build his casino empire. Yes. However, my second argument is that the government isn't taking the land. They are paying a fortune for it. In an interview by Fox News Insider with President Trump, official blog of Fox News, February 9, 2016, Trump states, eminent domain when it comes to jobs, roads, and public good, I think it's a wonderful thing. And remember, you're not taking property, you're paying a fortune for that property. Those people can move 2 blocks away into a much nicer house. Therefore, eminent domain is used to create jobs, which supports Alex's argument that it helps the greater public good. Yes, Trump is looking to expand. However, he is within his legal limit of doing so. He hasn't used his power to gain any private property, and the property he has gained, he has paid a pretty penny for it. He did have an eminent domain case go to court when he tried to buy a home from a 92-year-old woman. However, he lost and never pursued it again. Therefore, Uni's argument that he wants to bulldoze people out of their homes is invalid. He has never forced any citizen out of their home. His court case does not prove as significant evidence because that is still within his legal limit of eminent domain. Alex stated that Maddie's evidence was outdated and irrelevant. This is the same issue in Uni's third argument against Alex. Her data that majority of eminent domain victims were elderly or a minority. This may be true in 2007. However, in more recent years, there is no specific data related to whom eminent domain has affected, if anyone. Yes, Uni's evidence is 10 years old and could have certainly changed over those years as program and government rulings are constantly changing. Uni also misspeaks and says something that her quote didn't state. She said, as you see, this establishes the fact while eminent domain statistics prove from 1950s all the way to our current day 2017. However, her quote is only relevant to current day 2007. Alex doesn't talk about changing eminent domain. He just states that restrictions are available if needed by any state. He also pointed out that judicial restraint is important and that the best solution was for the states to impose restrictions as they see eminent domain being abused. To expand on this idea brings me to my fourth argument that states regulate eminent domain. U.S. Legal Leader of Affordable Legal Information, 2017. State governments have delegated the power of eminent domain to their political subdivisions, such as cities and counties. In some jurisdictions, the state delegates eminent domain power to certain public and private companies, typically utilities, such that they can bring eminent domain actions to run telephone, power, water, or gas lines. Eminent domain law and legal procedures vary, sometimes significantly, between jurisdictions. I now stand open for cross-examination.
Uni first, please. 1 minute.
Do you know how much money are they paying, like the government, for the properties?
They're paying up to 10 times the face of the home.
Okay. Do you know of any cases where the people have actually been happy or content of eminent domain taking their homes?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. And also for the argument where you're stating that my data is outdated, did you know that Brandon Galley, the one that I spoke about of the of San Francisco taking 4,000 people, is dated from May 25th, 2017?
I was not aware of that.
Okay. No further questions.
Okay, Marcel?
Morgan, do you have any actual proof of showing that Trump was like willing to pay above the market value for that 90 woman's house?
I have no proof at this time, but I'm sure that there is.
Okay, but is that like concrete, or is it just like you're going in within your own volition to like say?
It's not concrete at this time, I have no backing for
Okay,
that.
and what about in cases of inverse condemnation, of which the government does not pay fair market value for the properties that they seize, and the owners actually have to sue the government in order to get compensation?
In doing my research, I didn't find too many cases where they paid below the market value. Such as the Minute Maid Park, it was in no man's land, therefore the market value was a little bit less than something that, the 92-year-old woman's home.
Okay, and also, does eminent domain actually take into use the actual structure, or is it just the property of the land, like value of the land?
At this time, I have no backing for that, and I don't really know because I haven't done research on that.
Okay.
Excellent. Now we'll hear from the first